Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Roving Elves quest. Now, for this quest you need the following requirements. So you must have completed these quests: Waterfall Quest, Regicide, Underground Pass, Biohazard and Plague City. The other requirement, you need to be a level 61 Moss Giant, but you cannot use any weapons, armour, runes, summoning familiars or prayer, but I'll speak about that bit a bit further on. That's it for the requirements. Now onto the items. So you need a rope, a key to the waterfall dungeon which can be acquired during the quest, Glarial's Pebble and Glarial's Amulet, which again can be acquired during the quest. Now, those of you who don't have Glarial's Pebble kept in your bank since the prequel quest, which was the Waterfall one, if you go back and watch my guide on the Waterfall quest, I show you how to obtain the Pebble. It's basically located underneath the tree gnome maze, and by speaking to the dwarf in the jail cell. But like I said, if you go to my guide on the Waterfall quest, I show you properly how to get the Pebble in, or alternatively if you just search Glarial's Pebble on Google, the RuneScape wiki will show you how to obtain it. Now these items I recommend, so food and combat stat boosts and potions, strongly recommend. This is just to help the fight against the Moss Giant. If your agility level is below 56, which you needed for Regicide, you might need to use some of the agility shortcuts in this quest, so I'd bring a couple of summer pies if you feel you're going to need to boost. And also I strongly recommend bringing some Rings of Recoil, as any damage that is inflicted on you, a part of it is inflicted back, so that will help massively against the Moss Giant as well. But that is it for the requirements and items. Now onto the quest starting point. So we're currently at the Tyrannwyn Lodestone, or the Elf Lodestone, via the Lodestone network. Now you should have this one unlocked from the Regicide quest, and we will be using other ones. But if you don't have full access to the Lodestone network, I have a guide which can be found in the description below, and it makes completing quests a lot easier. Now the quest starting point, there's actually two areas where you can start this quest. Basically we've got to locate a couple of elves that roam around the forest. Now there's two locations. The first can be found east of Port Tyrus, and the second is southwest of Lilietta, the elven sort of village. Now that one is actually easy to get to, so I'm going to show you how to get to there from this lodestone. I've got a marker being displayed, just watch where my character goes. There's a few obstacles to go over, but yeah, just watch where I'm going and I'll speak to you in a moment. So once you got to this clearing with a small pond, and there's normally a remains of a campfire, you should either find the elves here. Now they can roam round, they alternate from this area and the other one I mentioned, so if they aren't there when you arrive, wait a few minutes and they should appear, or try switching worlds, but generally it takes about sort of 3-4 minutes for them to go from location to location, so they will appear soon enough. So, once the elves arrive, speak to Ilswind first. He will tell you to leave him alone because you're an Easterner, claiming that all they do is take and destroy with no thoughts for others. He will explain that he dislikes humans and gnomes, especially because a gnome gave a human the key to his grandmother Glarial's tomb, and then the human disturbed it and took her ashes. Tell him that you are the human he is talking about, and that you put her remains in Backstorian's home. While pleased that you were able to put her ashes in the grandfather's home, Iswin will explain that elven tombs have to be consecrated and that you did not do so. Offer to help him put his grandmother's soul to rest once more, and he would explain that while he does not know the consecration process, his companion Elenid does. So you want to speak to Elenid, the elf, with him, and she would explain that it is an elven tradition to plant a specially enchanted crystal seed at elven graves, which will create guardians to protect the area. She will also explain that the seed has to be tuned to the individual that it's protecting, and that you can recover one from her old tomb by killing its guardian and bringing it back to her so she can re-enchant it. So, we need to go to Glarial's tomb. Those of you who've done the Waterfall quest quite recently should remember that is where we got the amulet and ashes from originally, and this is what you need Glarial's Pebble to enter. Like I said, you can find that from Glouphrie, who's in the Gnome Village dungeon, if you have not done so already. Now this is the part where you can't bring any weapons, arm, runes, summoning pouches, anything like that, so you want to deposit everything, and the only thing you really need to bring with you are Rings of Recoil and food and any stat boosting potions. Once you've got all that ready, I will show you where to head to from there. So once you're ready, you want to go to the Lodestone via the Lodestone network. And then once you arrive, you want to keep going in this direction. This is the quickest way to get to Glarial's tomb. And as you're near the tomb, you want to use the Pebble on the tomb to grant out access. If you're bringing any items that are forbidden, it will not open for you. So if that does happen, you've clearly got something on you shouldn't have. But as long as you brought food, stat boosting potions and rings of recoil, you should be fine to go in there. So, once you're inside the tomb, you'll need to find and defeat the level 61 Moss Giant closest to Glarial's coffin. Only the monster giant near Glarial's coffin has a guaranteed chance to drop the seed. The others may not drop it, so make sure you find the one closest to it. Now, the Moss Giant isn't exactly strong despite its level. It's only got 1,000 life points, so it shouldn't take you too long. And with the Ring of Recoil on you, even if you don't even hit the Moss Giant yourself, that ring will deal enough damage over time to kill it, as long as you keep healing up. So it shouldn't take you too long to destroy the Moss Giant. Once the Moss Giant is dead, take the Consecration Seed it drops. Obviously, if it didn't drop one, you've killed the wrong one, and you'll need to try and kill another one. Also, if you do not have one already, take Glarial's Amulet from the chest in the western cave of the dungeon, as you'll need it later. So, once you have the Consecration Seed, you want to return to Elined, the one of the elves we spoke to near the beginning of the quest, so she can re-enchant it. So, head back to where you found them, and I'll speak to you in a moment. So, once you've found the elves again, return to Elined and she will re-enchant the Consecration Seed and tell you to plant it inside Glarial's new resting place near her remains so she can rest in peace. So we now need to head to the Waterfall Dungeon. You will need a rope to get in. Also, you will need the Glarial's Amulet as well to get inside too. Quickest way to get to the Waterfall Dungeon, you can either teleport to the Lodestone and then head to the Waterfall Dungeon, with a house, I should say, sorry, at Backstory and Falls, so that's where you need to access the dungeon from. Or, alternatively, if you've got a Games Necklace, you can teleport to Barbarian Outpost and head slightly south and you'll get to Backstory and Falls. But I'll speak to you once you're at the house regardless. Okay, so once you're at the house at Backstory and Falls, you want to go on a nearby raft to go down the river slightly. What you will then want to do is use your rope on the rock on the opposite island to go across that one, and then use your rope on the tree to reach the entrance of the dungeon. Now, make sure you're wearing Glarial's Amulet and enter the dungeon. So you'll probably need to find the key for the waterfall door unless you've kept it on your bank, in case it's probably with you. But anyway, to find the key, you want to search the crate in the northeast room to get another one. I think the crate is a different colour one compared to the others, but I'm not 100%. But if you watch which crate I'll search, you'll find which one has the key. After you have the key, take the western path and run past the fire giants to reach a locked door. You want to use the key on the door and the door after that to reach the final room of the dungeon, and this is where you obviously ended at the waterfall quest. You may now plant the seed. To do so, you want to simply left click it and it will grow into a small crystal tree consecrating the tomb. Once you've planted the seed, you want to head back to Ilswyn to finish the quest. So, once you've found Ilswyn the elf again, he will thank you for what you've done, happy that both he and Glarial can rest in peace. Now that Glarial is no longer restless, he will offer you a reward, a choice between the crystal bow and the crystal ward. Choose either one. Note that these are partially degraded and only have 500 charges each, and that you can buy both later regardless of which you pick, from either the Grand Exchange or from them. And it will come up, congratulations, you completed the Roving Elves quest. You're awarded 1 quest point, 10,000 strength experience, a used crystal bow or crystal ward. It will be 2 out of 10 charges, 2 treasure hunter keys and 2 hearts of ice. So yeah, all in all, pretty easy quest. The only really challenging bit is to defeat the Moss Giant, obviously unarmed, but to be honest, it's a fairly easy fight with things like Rings of Recoil and stat boosting potions, so you shouldn't have too much trouble against that. The reward is pretty decent from this quest, to be fair. The strength experience is very good, and obviously the crystal weaponry you can now unlock. I would personally choose the crystal bow over the crystal ward, only because it then gives you a powerful bow which doesn't require ammo and has quite a lot of charges, so you don't have to wait for this one to be degraded before you buy another one. You can just buy a brand new one if you wish. It is currently cheaper to buy a crystal bow from the Grand Exchange than it is from the actual elves who sell them. However, if you make your crystal bow revert back to its seed and get a specific elf, I can't remember her name though, to recharge the bow, she'll charge you less and less each time you do it, and eventually it will become cheaper than what the Grand Exchange is. But you'll have to kind of look that up to find out exactly the requirements for that one. But I do know of that. But yeah, I don't think you'll get stuck following this guide. However, if you do run into any problems, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you out as best as I can. If not, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Cheers guys, bye bye.